Nuclear energy is a powerful tool for progress. It offers a clean, efficient way to generate electricity, but the Fukushima disaster in 2011 highlighted its dangers. The disaster sent shockwaves globally, showing the devastating consequences. The plant was designed to withstand natural disasters. It had multiple safety systems, but the scale of the events overwhelmed precautions. A natural disaster escalated into a nuclear crisis. The Fukushima disaster was a tragedy. It claimed thousands of lives. It displaced countless others. It left behind environmental contamination and economic hardship. Amidst the devastation, there were stories of courage. Ordinary citizens and first responders risked their lives. Fukushima reminds us of the importance of preparedness and the power of the human spirit. On March 11, 2011 at 2:46 p.m. local time, a colossal earthquake ripped through the ocean floor off the coast of Japan. This was no ordinary tremor. It was a magnitude 9.0 earthquake, the most powerful ever recorded in the nation's history. The ground shook violently, buildings swayed precariously, and a sense of dread washed over the island nation. The epicenter was about 130 kilometers east of the Oshika Peninsula, at a depth of 32 kilometers. This proximity meant the earthquake's energy would soon hit Japan's shores. At Fukushima Daiichi, sensors detected the earthquake instantly. Automatic systems shut down the 3 operational reactors. The remaining 3 reactors were offline for maintenance. Engineers knew the danger was far from over. The earthquake triggered a tsunami warning. Little did they know the worst was yet to come. As the ground stopped shaking, a new threat emerged from the depths of the Pacific Ocean. The earthquake had displaced an enormous volume of water, creating a series of towering waves that raced towards the coastline at speeds of up to 800 kilometers per hour, 500 miles per hour. This was no ordinary tsunami. It was a monster, with some waves estimated to be over 15 meters, 50 feet high. At the Fukushima Daiichi plant, the first wave of the tsunami arrived approximately an hour after the earthquake. It was a significant surge of water, but the plant's seawall, designed to withstand waves up to 5.7 meters, 19 feet high, held firm. However, the engineers' relief was short-lived. The second wave, arriving just minutes later, was an entirely different beast. It dwarfed the first wave in both size and power, easily breaching the plant's defenses and flooding the facility. The relentless surge of water crippled critical infrastructure, including backup generators and electrical switchgear, causing a catastrophic loss of power. The tsunami's impact was swift and devastating. The plant's emergency diesel generators, designed to provide backup power in the event of a blackout, were located in underground compartments. These compartments were quickly inundated with water and rendered inoperable. Without power, the plant's cooling systems, essential for preventing the reactors from overheating, were knocked offline. With the cooling systems disabled, the temperature inside the reactors began to rise rapidly. The uranium fuel rods, no longer bathed in cool water, continued to generate heat due to radioactive decay. As the temperature climbed, the zirconium alloy cladding reacted with steam, producing explosive hydrogen gas. Despite the best efforts of the plant operators, the situation continued to deteriorate. Within hours, water levels dropped dangerously low, exposing the fuel rods and causing them to overheat. On March 12, the worst fears of the plant operators were realized. The fuel rods inside Reactor Unit 1, starved of coolant, reached temperatures exceeding 2,800 degrees Celsius, causing them to melt. This marked the beginning of a nuclear meltdown. Over the next few days, meltdowns also occurred in Reactors 2 and 3, releasing more radioactive material. The meltdowns at Fukushima Daiichi were a stark reminder of the immense power and risks of nuclear energy. Section 5. A desperate struggle, battling to contain the crisis. In the face of unimaginable challenges, the plant operators, firefighters, and other first responders displayed extraordinary courage and determination as they battled to contain the crisis. They worked tirelessly, often in dangerous conditions, to cool the reactors, prevent further explosions, and minimize the release of radioactive material. One of the most pressing tasks was to find a way to cool the reactors and prevent further damage to the fuel rods. With the regular cooling systems knocked offline, the operators resorted to desperate measures, using fire trucks and even seawater to pump water into the reactors. Seawater, while not ideal due to its corrosive properties, was used as a last resort to cool the reactors. The decision to use seawater was not taken lightly, as it would likely damage the reactors beyond repair. However, at that point the priority was to prevent a complete meltdown, and a potentially even more catastrophic release of radiation. Another major concern was the buildup of hydrogen gas inside the reactor buildings. The hydrogen produced by the reaction of the zirconium cladding with steam posed a significant explosion risk. To mitigate this risk, the operators vented the gas into the atmosphere. This decision, while necessary to prevent a more powerful explosion, unfortunately released radioactive material into the environment. Section 6. The Invisible Threat, Radiation Release and Contamination. The meltdowns and hydrogen explosions at Fukushima Daiichi released a significant amount of radioactive material into the environment, contaminating the air, soil, and water in the surrounding area. The release of radiation posed a serious threat to public health, forcing the evacuation of tens of thousands of people and raising concerns about the long-term impact on the environment. The primary radioactive isotopes released from the plant were iodine-131, cesium-134, and cesium-137. Iodine-131, with a half-life of 8 days, poses a particular risk to human health, as it can accumulate in the thyroid gland and increase the risk of thyroid cancer, especially in children. To protect the public from exposure to radiation, the Japanese government established an exclusion zone around the plant, evacuating residents within a 20-kilometer or 12-mile radius. People living within a 30-kilometer or 19-mile radius were advised to stay indoors and take other protective measures. The release of radiation from Fukushima Daiichi had far-reaching consequences, contaminating agricultural products, seafood, and even drinking water supplies. The Japanese government implemented strict food safety regulations and monitoring programs to ensure the safety of the food supply. Section 7. Picking up the pieces, the long road to recovery. In the aftermath of the disaster, Japan faced the daunting task of cleaning up the contaminated areas, rebuilding devastated communities, and addressing the long-term health and environmental consequences of the accident. The road to recovery would be long, complex, and expensive, requiring a sustained commitment from the government, industry, and the international community. One of the most immediate challenges was to decontaminate the areas affected by the radiation release. This involved removing contaminated soil, vegetation, and other materials, and cleaning buildings and infrastructure. The decontamination effort was a massive undertaking, requiring specialized equipment and expertise. Another major challenge was to address the health concerns of the people affected by the disaster. This included providing long-term medical monitoring for those exposed to radiation, as well as psychological support for those who had lost loved ones, homes, or livelihoods. The Fukushima disaster also had a profound impact on Japan's economy. The evacuation of people from the affected areas disrupted businesses, agriculture, and tourism. The cost of the cleanup, compensation, and decommissioning of the plant was estimated to be in the hundreds of billions of dollars. Section 8. Lessons learned, strengthening nuclear safety for the future. The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster was a wake-up call for the global nuclear industry, highlighting the need to reassess and strengthen safety standards, emergency preparedness, and regulatory oversight. The lessons learned from Fukushima have led to significant improvements in nuclear safety practices worldwide. One of the key takeaways from Fukushima was the importance of designing nuclear power plants to withstand a wider range of natural disasters. This includes considering the potential for larger-than-expected earthquakes and tsunamis, as well as other extreme weather events. Another important lesson was the need for more robust backup power systems. The Fukushima disaster demonstrated the vulnerability of nuclear power plants to station blackout events, in which the plant loses all off-site and on-site power. The Fukushima disaster also highlighted the need for better emergency preparedness and response plans. This includes improving communication and coordination among government agencies, industry, and the public, as well as ensuring that adequate resources are available to respond effectively to a nuclear emergency. Section 9. Conclusion. A legacy of resilience and responsibility. The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster was a tragedy of immense proportions, leaving behind a legacy of loss, displacement, and environmental contamination. However, it also revealed the resilience of the human spirit, the dedication of those who risked their lives to help others, and the determination to learn from past mistakes and build a safer future. The events at Fukushima serve as a stark reminder of the potential dangers associated with nuclear energy, even in the most technologically advanced nations. They underscore the need for unwavering vigilance, continuous improvement, and a commitment to the highest safety standards in the design, operation, and regulation of nuclear power plants. As we move forward, we must honor the memory of those who were lost or affected by the Fukushima disaster by working together to ensure that such an event never happens again. We must strive to harness the benefits of nuclear energy while mitigating its risks, recognizing that the peaceful atom comes with a profound responsibility to protect present and future generations.